Hello everybody, it's time! The final DLC is out and there are some new costumes. Come with me now and we'll find out what all their origins are. Like I always say, these are not 100% official, I am just really sure of the connections that I found. Alright, let's go! What is that? Our first costume isn't another costume for Link. This is literally the first time that this has ever happened. However, ironically, Impa's inspiration for these colors actually is a bit of a trend. And yet again, she is paired with an older version of herself, matching the design of the Impa scene in A Link Between Worlds. The Impa in this universe is also one of the 7 sages of her era, but the other 6 sages will all have some kind of representative on this list in just a little bit. In a costume pick that is sure to ignite some half-baked connections in some Zelda theorist heads between Lana and the royal family, her pick this time is that of Zelda of Hyrule from A Link Between Worlds. I want to say right now that I really don't think the developers are trying to imply anything here, just that they probably thought it would be boring to give Princess Zelda another pink-clothed, blonde-haired recolor of herself from a different game. So instead, they gave it to Lana. I really like this one, by the way. Ganondorf's light purples here are in reference to Yuga, one of the new playable characters added in this pack and the main antagonist of A Link Between Worlds. It just so happens that Ganondorf and Yuga have the exact same hair color, because I'm guessing Nintendo thinks that all redheads are evil. Hey, don't blame me, I'm just calling it like I see it. Darunia, one of the 7 sages of the Ocarina timeline, is referencing another sage from A Link Between Worlds. This time, it's Rosso. Unlike some previous recolors for him, which have just been awful. Just awful. I think this one's alright. Here we have an actual good recolor for Ruto, and another one that falls into the trend of having a sage take another sage's colors. Ruto's green and orange flippers here are referencing Auron, a sage from A Link Between Worlds, who is also a member of royalty, just like Ruto. I guess that would probably make Ruto her ancestor. Oh, I really like this cute little recolor for Agatha. I'm not sure that she's had a bad costume yet. Anyways, I've already covered this one a while ago when it was teased before the DLC dropped, but this costume is referencing our 4th sage so far, Ceres. I am curious, which one of Agatha's skin has been your favorite? Once again, we get a super vague one for Midna, but upon really close inspection, it soon becomes obvious. I've seen community members connecting this one to some really obscure nothing characters like the devilish girl of Lorule, but if you zoom in on Midna here, you'll see that she has a pink to blue transition going on both her body and her helmet. Well, there just so happens to be one other thing which matches that perfectly, and that is one of the baby Maiamais spread all throughout A Link Between Worlds. You really don't have to overthink these things, people. I promise you that I don't want to keep on making banana jokes on every single one of these costume videos, but I'll be damned if the developers don't keep making it hard on me not to. So putting aside my lesser instincts, I'm just going to say that Xant's costume here was probably the hardest one for me to place in the entire pack. I looked at every character and enemy sprite in the game, and although there are some minor enemies that it could be, as well as the rather important characters Sahara, that could be the connection, considering the fact that Xant is already a pretty bizarre character, the most bizarre character that fits his color scheme to a T is the bee guy who lives in Kakariko Village. I'm open to discussion on this one, trust me. But look, he's got the same yellow body, green hat, and then they're both freaking weird. Okay, finally a great recolor for Fi, and its connection links her to my favorite sage from A Link Between Worlds, Irene the Witch. This was another one that was teased early, and this might be my favorite recolor for Fi thus far. It's a little bit strange to have the Demon Lord matched up with one of the good sages from A Link Between Worlds, but Girahim's colors here are in reference to our 6th sage from the game, Osfala. I'm not really in love with this recolor, especially considering some of the amazing costumes that Girahim has been given in the past, but still, this one fills in one of our sage slots and gives the swordsman here yet another gaudy-ass outfit to battle in. This one is okay, but the reference is pretty telling. You may consider this a bit of a spoiler, but Sia's colors here match up to Princess Hilda, the secret antagonist of A Link Between Worlds. Both of these girls start out bad and end up good, or at least slightly redeemed in Sia's case, so this is a fine example of personality being matched up as much as colors. Without a doubt, this is my pick for the best costume in the pack, and possibly the best costume that they put out in any of these DLCs. However, it is a little bit of an odd connection, being just the colors of one of the Fissure portals seen all over A Link Between Worlds. This idea, however, does combine beautifully with Twilight Midna's otherworldly princess design. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This was another one that was teased early, and it finishes out the Sage Connection costumes, with these green and yellows matching up to Goli, the blacksmith's son. I was really hoping for young Link to get a plain blue tunic to match his red, but I guess it's never going to happen. Oh well. Life goes on, I guess. Alright, so this is a pretty damn tough one to match. Some people's first reaction would be to say that this one is linked to Ravio, and then just move on. But 1, Ravio is matched to someone else on this list, and 2, the shades of purple on Tingle here are way too dark. Ravio is not an option, sorry. Then, to complicate things even more, Tingle has these spirals on his cheek, something which he hasn't had in any other of his costumes, or had in any of the main Zelda games. The only time that he's had these spirals have been in his solo games, and considering that the last pack gave him a costume in reference to Pinkle from his first solo game, I checked out the second one, Ripen Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love, to see if anyone in the game was a good match, but unfortunately there just isn't one. So, who in the world is this anti-Tingle? Well, that's exactly it. In the same way that Link and Zelda have their purple equivalents in Lorule, this is Koei Tecmo's best creation of a Lorule Tingle. If that seems a bit far-fetched, just know that there is still one more character on this list that follows that same design for sure. So, I'm putting all my chips down on that being the inspiration. As you can probably tell, Linkle's faded purple clothes here and dark purple hair make her the Ravio representative. You can tell right away that her clothing color is a perfect match, and it makes the most convincing argument for Tingle not also being inspired by him. There's also a little bit of an extra connection here, in that Linkle is also a kind of alternate Link, just like Ravio. Skull Kid's inspiration here links him to another mysterious figure, the Masked Elder from Lorule in A Link Between Worlds. Just like Skull Kid, both characters are troublemakers, but the Masked Elder happens to be the helpful Saharahala counterpart in the game. Unfortunately, it looks like the real Elder himself is just going to get shafted here, because somehow his alternate self takes the pick. We have finally made it to the last costume of the DLC, and as I alluded to in the Tingle section, this is the other character who was made into a Lorule version of themselves. Although we were never able to see Princess Hilda's father in A Link Between Worlds, King Daphne's is given colors that would have been an accurate representation of what he could have looked like. And with this last reference, we have reached the end of our journey. This costume series has been amazing to make, and although there's nothing new to do for Hyrule Warriors Legends after this, I truly love making little reference videos like this. Doing the research for these has been some of the most enjoyable time I've spent working on my channel. All the way from finding these amazing little details that no one else had seen before, to even have my mind changed by you, as you pointed out things that I hadn't noticed the first time through. Although this collection of costumes is probably not my favorite overall, possibly only due to the horribly ugly Zant one alone, there are a lot of costumes that I loved in this pack. So in the comments below, I'd like you to tell me what your top 5 favorite costumes have been from all 4 DLCs combined, and then tell me what your top 5 least favorite were. Here's mine from lowest to highest. First, the top 5 best, which are Goddess Butterfly Volga, Spirit Train Link, Princess Peach Linkle, Fisher Portal Twilight Minda, and my favorite, Pinkle Tingle. Top 5 worst: Evil Eagle Zant, Piss Yellow Ruto, Creepy Lips Daronia, Wind Fish Egg Link, and Banana Zant. So before I go, I'd like to give a special thank you to Tris for providing all of the 3DS footage used in this episode, and I'd also like to give a shout out to my top patrons from my Patreon page, Corey Mosdy and Austin Lau. If you would like to consider donating $1 or more each month to help this channel grow, head on over to my Patreon page right now and see what you can do. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my Hyrule Warriors content, everybody. You are amazing. I love you, and as always, until next time, I hope you take care.